Adam Schefter, how we doing this week?
What is going on, guys? I'm not doing as well as the Patriots, but I'm doing okay.
Yeah, and Patriots fans, we're getting cocky again, so let's get this right out of the way. Time now to get this week's Drake Take from Adam Schefter, presented by your New England Chevy dealers. Together, let's drive. Is Drake Maye a legitimate MVP candidate in his second season?
Let's not get carried away. Look, I'm a Drake Maye fan and supporter, as you guys know.
Yes.
Okay? He is the quarterback on both my fantasy teams. He can never do well. He's my daughter's quarterback. Like, the Schefters are squarely behind Drake Maye, okay? We are rooting for enhanced and all kinds of production from him. But to say he's the MVP, I mean, I don't see how he's the MVP over Patrick Mahomes or Baker Mayfield. I don't see that right now. Like, there are a lot of guys. But the fact that you're even asking the question is the win. That you're asking, does he deserve consideration for the MVP award? And my answer is no. But if he wants to play, and if he wants to play himself into that, I'm certainly not going to object to that in any way, shape, or form.
Adam, if we had all day, I could show you Baker Mayfield's stats, which are eerily similar to Drake Maye's as well. They're almost neck and neck in almost all these different things. But I understand it feels like Baker is carrying the team. You know, Drake is as well. Yeah. But more importantly, as it stands right now,
maybe we're going to get around to it. Maybe we are going to get around to it. Like I said, I'd like to be the first in that bandwagon. I'm trying to keep it real and honest. I'm surprised to hear that, but if the numbers are the numbers, love to see it. We want the numbers to keep going up and up and up, and happy to have him be a part of that conversation. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, please, sir. So a grander Patriots picture. After 6 weeks right now, do you feel comfortable saying the New England Patriots belong in the playoff picture for the duration of the season, if not come end of the season and the postseason?
I felt that way before the start of the season. So I didn't even need 6 weeks to say that. I really felt like they were going to be there all along. It's funny. I said this to somebody this morning, but I had the pleasure and fortune of getting to interview Robert Kraft at the Fanatics Fest this year in June, and we were talking about his team. And I told him, I said, hey, I think your team's got a real chance to go to the playoffs. And if everything goes right, maybe you'll challenge Buffalo. And he listened to me. He goes, I think you're right. I think you're right. Now, he's an eternal optimist, so of course he's going to say that. But I couldn't help the urge of then texting Vrabel and just say, hey, just wanted you to know I'm standing with your owner right now. Both think that you've made. And he texts back, thank you for ruining my vacation.
Hey,
putting the pressure on and ruining his vacation. Putting the pressure on and ruining his vacation. I really did think that they were going to be an improved team, compete for the playoffs. Honestly, what they're doing is not surprising me, and we've talked about this before. They've squandered some opportunities here, and they're a young team, so that's to be expected. And they've got a ways to go, and they've got holes to fill. But you could see the signs of hope and relevancy. And just imagine if they had, again, beaten the Raiders in the opener. Then they had Pittsburgh and Foxborough, right? They lost that game, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a couple of opportunities they let get away.
Hey, Adam, the next opponent for the Patriots is the Tennessee Titans, and they just fired their head coach, Brian Callahan. And you look at the history of kind of how the Titans have operated. I mean, they fire their general manager, and then they fire their coach, and then they hire a new general manager, and then they fire the coach, and then they hire, it's back and forth. I mean, over the last, 4 years, they just kind of go back and forth firing general managers and head coaches. Have you ever seen a turnover like that? And what do you think is going on there in Tennessee with the ownership group there, with all these firings of general managers and head coaches?
Have I seen it before? I've covered the NFL. I've experienced Cleveland and the New York Jets and all these other organizations that have been impatient and unstable. And Tennessee is right there amongst them, where they fire Vrabel, they fire John Robinson, their GM, they fire the GM that replaced John Robinson, Rand Carthon, they fire the head coach that replaced Vrabel and Brian Callahan. So, I mean, you can't write this stuff any better or have it be any more wild in the sense that Vrabel now leads the Patriots, the upstart, resurgent Patriots, into Nashville to play his former team. And I'm like, oh, boy, he's definitely going to be all fired up for this game. Right, Teddy Bruschi? We were doing Get Up on Monday morning, and he goes, I said, this is on his mind, right, Teddy? He goes, are you kidding? He goes, I remember the one time that I picked against Vrabel's Titans when he was coaching there on Sunday NFL Countdown, and he's still mad at me to this day about it.
ESPN's Adam Schefter here on WEEI Afternoons. Adam, about a month ago, I threw something out there sort of tongue-in-cheek that the Patriots should make a run at Derrick Henry, that they had a fumbling back here, there was a fumbling back in Baltimore. Maybe you could make a run at him as their season went in the wrong direction. Today, I go on social media. Bill Simmons is bringing up this idea to the national audience, noted Patriots fan. Is there any chance the Patriots could make a run at Derrick Henry?
No, it's not going to happen. I can tell you, having spoken to people in Baltimore, they're getting ready to make what they believe is a second-half run. Now, I guess if Baltimore comes back from the break and loses 2 games back-to-back and falls to, at that point in time, 1-7, then that last week, maybe, like, all bets are off, I guess. But I can tell you today that the Ravens are not thinking anything like that. They're thinking, look at our schedule, look at our talent. But we're going to make a run here. We're not done. And a team that is thinking that way is not in the mindset of trading Derrick Henry. Now, again, like I said, things shift in the league. I understand the idea, cute idea. I'm just telling you that Baltimore is not thinking that at all today. Could that change? Things change in the league all the time. But they're not thinking that way today. They think they're going to make a push in the second half and get back into their divisional race. And we'll see if they're right.
About something that stuck out in Sunday's Patriots-Saints game, Adam, and of course it's been an issue for years, and it's especially been an issue, it seems, now maybe more than ever in the NFL, the officiating. What can we do about the sorry state of affairs when it comes to the officiating in the NFL? Sunday's game, especially the Steph Diggs OPI, which negates a long touchdown, which just looked phantom at most. They're just, we all want the NFL to be at its best, but these are bad optics for the biggest form of entertainment in America.
Well, I mean, there have been questions about officiating for a while, and believe me, this is not to defend officials, but I actually think they do miss a lot of calls, no question. The speed at which these guys move and the calls when they're made in real, I think what they do is incredible. Okay, and that's for all the misses. Like, it's incredible how often they get it right. And they do get things wrong like that one. And if you're looking at ways to review it, to me, I think that penalties should be made challengeable. You have the same number of challenges. If you want to use it on an OPI like that, that's a big game, a big play in a game, why would you not be allowed to challenge an OPI so that everybody could look at it and say, yep, that was or that wasn't OPI? Like, I think that penalties should be included in challenge calls. Now, I know that they're going to be worried about the pace of the game. But to me, I think it's just as important to make sure that if there's a call that is missed, that somehow there's a way to challenge it to make it right.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, Adam, 100%. Last Thursday's game, Jackson Dart got a concussion. It appeared to be getting concussed, and Brian Daboll went in the blue tent. And so now there's supposed to be, an investigation from the NFL and NFLPA. And I'm just curious what you think how the league has been handling this kind of concussion crisis issue since settling that class action suit back in that was brought on by the players back in 2019. How do you feel the league is handling the concussions now since that settlement was concluded back in 2019?
I mean, I'll just say that the environment around concussions has shifted entirely, right? And so, guys, it's shifted, and it's had to. You've had to change the way this is approached and viewed. And they've done, I think they've done, as as good a job as they can right now. Okay? But it takes a while to change it. So it's just something that takes a while.
Adam, we've had our first head coach fired, obviously Brian Callahan in Tennessee. There's others that are probably on the hot seat in Miami, New York, Arizona. But we also have the trade deadline sort of on the horizon. And I'm wondering, what's more likely as you have your ear to the ground across the league? Are we going to have some entertaining, interesting trades heading toward the trade deadline, or are we going to see a flurry of head coach changes?
No, I'm not expecting a flurry of head coaching changes. Okay? I'm not expecting that. I think that we're going to see trades. We saw 3 of them last week, and I think there'll be more that are coming. Over the last couple of years, there were 18 trades that were made in the month of October last year leading up to the deadline. There were 14 the year before. There were 18 the year before that. So we're averaging, basically 15-plus trades per month. The sport has taken on a new form of aggressiveness. And we saw 3 last week. Literally, I've gotten 2 calls while I'm on the phone here. I think there might be another one right now.
Ooh.
So these are the things that I think are going to be busy the next few weeks.
You want to give us a hint on what the trade going down might be? Who, where, what?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm just telling you, the same person's called me 3 times back to back to back. So,
they really want you.
Oh, then
there's a reason.
All right, I'll bang out this last question for me at least then real quick. Adam, do you believe that I've been enjoying it. We were just discussing momentarily. I love the dynamic kickoff. Do you think it's here to stay? And follow up, I'll do this one for Ted. Do you think the Tush Push is on last rights?
I don't know that. Again, I was told earlier this offseason that there's no assurance it's even going to come up in the offseason again, that it needs a new sponsor. It needs new support. They didn't have the support last year. So I know there are people that strongly oppose it. That's going to go on. But, again, it's not out of the sport, and it may not be out of the sport anytime soon. So we'll just have to ways out.
All right, Adam, get off the phone with us and call that person back and let us know what big trade's happening. See you, Adam.
We'll do it. Thank you, guys. Take care.